Okay, this is your first video, and we're actually going to watch it together in class just so you get an idea of how this works. I'll usually have some sort of title on the first screen, so it says Geometry 8/27/2013, that's the date. It's an algebra review, and you'll need your notebook, a pencil, and possibly a calculator. Alright, so what are we going to learn? If there's a pencil here, this is important. This is something that you're going to write down. And because we're taking Cornell notes, this is actually going to be your question at the top that you'll write. You'll turn this into a question so that you know what the title is, per se. So your question might be, how do you solve 1 and 2 step equations? So there's your question, and your title, I said, was Algebra Review. So this would be the title and your guiding question at the top. Algebra Review. Alright, so if it has a pencil, it's important. You're going to write it down somewhere in your notes. Alright, so your do now will be the next thing I want you to write down in your notes. And you'll just write down number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do not use a calculator and try to solve these. Take a few minutes to do those now. We'll pause the video. Now we can check with a calculator. Alright, so what is the point? Notice this does not have a pencil. There is no pencil here. So we do not need to write this down. This is just for our information. Let you know why this stuff is important. So read that over. Repeat and repeat. This is our vocabulary section. So again, we have a pencil, so this is important. So you'll write down the word denominator, and you'll write down that it's the bottom portion of a fraction. That's your definition. If it will help you to draw a picture, here's a picture you can add as well. Numerator. Notice this one does not have a pencil. So it's given for information, but it's not necessarily necessary for this part of our learning. Expression, again, no pencil. So just read what that is. Notice it has no equal sign. Equation must have an equal sign. So that's the difference between the two. Distributive property. Here again we have a pencil. That means that this is going to be important to you. So distributive property is multiplying two terms together when parentheses are present. And here's a little graph of how we do that. 2 times y is 2y. 2 times 1 is 2. Plus sign stays in the middle. Variable, this is important. It's a pencil. Any letter used to represent an unknown in an equation. Terms, the elements in an equation or expression separated by plus or minus signs. Like terms, terms that contain the same variable with the same exponent. So we'll copy all of those down, and again, you can pause these at home. It's the end of our vocabulary. So step 1 is to get rid of fractions and or use the distributive property. You need to write down this step. So here's an example. 21 over n equals -7. So to get rid of the fractions, we multiply by the denominator. This one has a fraction. Multiply every term by the denominator. So our denominator is our bottom number. So we're going to multiply this as a term and this is a term. So here's multiply this by n and this by n. When you multiply the denominator by itself, they cancel, so you get 21 equals negative 7 times n gives you negative 7n. Here's one that's distributive property. We learned how to work that. 5 times a is 5a. 5 times 1 is plus 5. We keep our plus 5 equals 20 outside. So that's how we work those. You should have written this down in your notebook. Step 2, combine like terms. Remember we talked about like terms have the same variable or no variable at all. So we look here, here's a 5a. Are there any other a's on this side of the equation? We're looking at one side then the other. There's not. So we look at the 5. Are there any other numbers with no variables? Yes, right here. So we're going to combine these. 5 plus 5. So we bring down our 5a. 5 plus 5 is 10. And that equals 20. And our terms are combined. Looking at step 3, we're going to separate. We want our variable on one side, everything else, which for our purposes is our numbers, on the other side of our equal sign. So I want you to draw a line going down the equal sign. Okay, we want our variable over here. Here's our variable. It's an a. We want that. We're going to write variable. We're going to write numbers. So we look at this side. We have a variable that belongs. The number does not belong. So to undo a plus 10, we have to do minus 10. So we subtract minus 10 from this side. What we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So we bring down our 5a that's left. Plus 10 minus 10, those cancel. 20 minus 10 is 10. So now we've separated. We've got our variable on this side, all of our numbers on this side. Alright, so 3-second learning check. Since we're in class, turn to your partner and talk about the first 3 steps. Moving on to step 4, divide by the number with the variable. So here we've got 5a equals 10. Here's our variable. The number with our variable is 5, so we're going to divide by 5. If we do it to one side, we've got to do it to the other. So our 5's cancel. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So a equals 10 divided by 5, which is 2. And our last step, which is optional, we only have to do it when we have a squared term. We have an x squared, so to get rid of the x squared, we take the square root. So the square root of x squared, those are opposites. That leaves us with x, and the square root of 100 is 10. Alright, again, 3-second quick learning check. Talk to your partner about what the 5 steps are.